Hi, good morning, all. So we'll start with this particular session. So we'll start off with the Microsoft Word. So we'll start with this particular concept. So we'll talk about multi-column text. Okay, how do we have a multi-column text? And then we'll see with how do you work with the tab indents. Okay, so that is what. So the agenda will be something like how do we create a multi-column text? So how do we go for a tab indenting? And then we'll see about how do we go with the spell check and grammars that includes, and plus we'll also look into what is thesaurus. Okay, so we'll get into the thing. Now you all know what is multi-column text. Let me have a new blank document. So I'll just explain you how do you go with the multi-column text. See, before I get into multi-column text, okay, I just want to tell you, like, how do we go from one page to another page? So there is some concept called as page break. Okay, so page break is like, you want to go from one page to the another page. So we use this concept of page break. I mean to say is, see, we start writing, like I say, is equal to REND. I'll just have some text over here. I just have some text. Let me have this particular text again. Okay, so now it is almost nearing to one page. Okay, now what happens is, if I keep writing this particular text, and if this text goes beyond my margin, see right now what happens is, so right now my text is fitting in a single page. Now if I write something, okay, I just say, hi, this is if I just keep writing some text, what happens is, so as soon as the page, the size is filled, okay, I don't have to manually press enter key or anything. You can see the page automatically shifted to the new page. Okay, so now this is like, you are shifted to the new page. This is called as the automatic page break. Automatically what happens, the system is generating a new page. Fine. Okay, now apart from this, we do also have something called as a manual page break. So how do we use this particular manual page? What is the use of this particular manual page break? So let us do one thing is, I say I have this particular text, okay, which is there in the first page. I say this is my topic one. Okay, so this is my topic one, so which is there in the first page. Now I want to continue with the second topic, so which I want to actually start from the second page. So generally how we go to next page, so we always have this habit of pressing an enter key, enter key, enter key, enter, enter, enter. So when you keep pressing enter, you can see automatically it pushes a new page. And then here I say is, here I'm writing the information about topic two. So fine. And then I just say, oh, this is my topic two. Fine. So here I've just written some data in the topic one. I have some written text, some text in the topic two. Okay. So now what I have done is, if I wanted to generate a new page, I just press the enter key to go to the next page. Now what I want is, see, now what is the problem in this is, just imagine I'm changing the font size. So I say the font size of this, I want to slightly increase. Okay, so if I increase, so what happens is my first page data is, okay, so expanding. So obviously we had some kind of a new line spaces. We can see the topic two is not starting from the start of the second page, it is starting from the mid of the second page. The reason is, if I wanted to go from one page to another page, what I did is I pressed the multiple enter keys. So now that enter keys is been written, whenever you do any kind of formatting or you add some additional paragraph, some additional text in this particular page. So what happens is, okay, this page has been spread, and then again you can see it is still continuing with a space. Now I don't want like this. What I want is, the new topic has to be the beginning of the new page, irrespective whether the previous page is ending one page before or one page after and things. So in that case, how will we do it? Okay, so in that case, what we actually have to do is, let me remove this. Okay, so now I want to go for a manual page break. So what is that I do is, After writing the last of the document and the end of the document, okay, we go to this particular thing called as a page break. So insert break, you can see we have a page break. So you can see under insert, we have a page break, or the shortcut key is control plus enter. You hit the control plus the enter key. So it automatically creates a new page. Okay. So now the document was written here. So what I did is I'll just do it once again. So now you can see I'm just trying to delete the content. Yeah. So right now I'm in the second page. I want to go. I just hold on the control key and press enter from this one. So as soon as I press this particular enter, you can see I've shifted to the start of the new page. Now here I'll write the topic 2. Okay. So now you can see when I do some changes, like I say, I remove these 2 paragraphs here. So now my first page is ending somewhere over here, and you can see the second page is starting in the start of the second page. Now I say in my first page, I have increased some additional contents. I'm just adding some new content here. So my first page size is growing. Okay, so it is ending over here, and you can see the second page still it is starting from the beginning of the next page. Fine. So that means you increase the font or decrease the font. Okay, the realignments. So the next topic will ensure that it is going to start from the beginning of the new page. Clear? Is all clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yes, Kaushik.
Yes, I'm clear with it.
Okay. Fine. Okay. That was like, how do we go for the page break manually? So that means, okay, once you have completed your page and you're starting some kind of a new content, a new topic, a new lesson, okay, ensure that you press a control enter or go to the insert tab. From the insert tab, go to this particular page break. So this will generate a new page, and whatever the changes you do it in the previous topic or the previous module, okay, irrespectively, the new content will be in the beginning of the new page. Okay. So, but generally I've seen many times people press enter keys and then they go and they later do any kind of formatting or add some additional content. The whole alignment get disturbed. So during the time of printout, again, people have to do this particular rearranging and all this. Even when you change the margin size and all this thing, no? Okay, the content area differs. So the complete things gets rearranged and gets haphazard and so. Okay. The next thing is we will get into what you call it as a multi-column text. Okay. When I talk about the multi-column text, yeah. So what is this particular thing? What do you call it as a multi-column text? How do we go for this particular multi-column text? So we'll look into this particular thing. So now I'll just remove all this particular contents. Let me rewrite it again. So I'm in the new page. Now, see, you would have seen this in the newspapers or in the magazines. When the text is written, they don't write from the start to the end. Rather, what they do is they break into small columns. Okay, they break into small columns. The best example is the newspaper. So generally, when you see the newspaper width is very large, and if it is written a single line from left to right, people have to keep nodding from left to right read one line. And once they have read one line, the next line when they have to come back again, it becomes very difficult to know which line they were reading, where they have to start, and all these things. Fine. Now to overcome this particular problem, what they do is they put it into small columns. So what happens? It becomes more easy to read. Okay, it increases your readability and things. Fine. So now the same way you can see in the magazines also they put it in smaller columns and things. Now I want to have the similar way. I want this particular text to be split into 3 columns, or I want to write the content into multiple columns, more than one column. By default, it is a single column. So now you want to go to this particular multi-column. So what we do is we go to this particular layout tab. I'll go to this particular layout tab. Under the layout tab, so you can see we have something called as a column. Under the layout tab, I have something called as a columns. Now in the columns, what I do, I just hit on this. Here you can see, you can decide how many columns you want to have. So whether you want to have, by default is a single column, you want to have a single column, you want to have 2 columns, or 3 columns or something. There is something called left and right columns. I'll look into it. So first I'll say, okay, I want the text to be in 2 columns. Okay, I just hit on this. So you can see what happens automatically in the ruler. Okay, so the data is divided into 2 columns. Okay, you can see like 2 margins and things, and in between there is a space, column space. Cool. Okay, now what happens is if I write something, I just want to write some 2 paragraphs. Fine. When I write something, you can see this particular thing is trying to fit within this particular column margin within the first column. Fine. You have written some content in this particular column. So whatever the content you are writing, so that content is just flowing wellly within that particular column, not going to the another column. So now I want to move from one column to the another column. If I have to move from one column to the another column, so what will I do is, so you can see next to this particular column, okay, in the layout tab itself, next to the column, we have something called as a break. And then you can see there is a small drop down there. There you can select, and there is something called as a column break. That is under the layout tab. So I think we can make a note of it. So under the layout tab, next to the column, we have the breaks. From there, we go to the column break. So now the column break is used if you want to move from one column to the other column. So as soon as I hit on this particular break, column break, so what has happened here? Okay, my cursor, which was actually over here, my cursor, which was actually blinking over here, now it has started blinking over here. So you can see it is blinking on the second column. Now, whatever the content you write over here, I just say is equal to REND. I just say I want to write one paragraph here. So I just have one paragraph here. Fine. So it is trying to write within this itself. I say another 2 paragraphs. Fine. So it is trying to write within this particular. Fine. This is how we create this particular kind of thing called as multi-column text. Yeah. So now you can have multiple columns. I think maximum. Okay. So we have this kind of a default thing. So generally we want to have a 2 columns or 3 columns, or there is something called as a left column. Means in the left hand side you get a small column, and the right hand side you get a big column. Okay. Say example, I want to have a 3 columns. Just me remove all this. So I just go to this particular 3 columns. You can see when since I selected 3 columns, it has divided into 3 columns. Okay. So now whatever the content you write, it is fitting in the first column. And then you can see if you want to do this kind of alignments and all these things, it is at the column level, the first line indent you want to do. So all these things can be done. Okay. So then you want to move to the second column. So we just go to the break, and then we say column break. It is shifting to the new column. So then again, I want to shift from here to the another column. I just say break. I say column break. I just say. So now when I say I have 3 columns, so fine. So now what I want to do is I just want to adjust this, the space between the columns, or I want to have some kind of a line between the column and all this thing. So again, I go to the columns. You can see we have this more options. When I hit on those more options, you get this. So there, okay. See now what is happening is all the 3 columns are having a equal width. Okay. So number of columns, it is decided as 3, and we can see here equal column width. That means all the 3 columns are having the equal width. So now say example, I want the first column to be much wider than the second column. So what I can do is I can just uncheck this. As soon as I uncheck, you can see it shows me what is the space given for the each column and what is the space between the 2 columns. So this space is nothing. This space is nothing but this space between the 2 columns that you want to give. Okay. And this, what you say 1.83, what you see is nothing but this particular space, what it is. Now I say first column, I want to be much wider. So what I do, I just increase this particular size. So you can see even a live preview here. And if I say okay, it automatically implements. Fine. Yeah, or you want to decrease this particular space between the columns, so you can just decrease this particular thing. or you want to have a line between the column. So you can see there is an option here called as line between. If you check this, it puts one line between the columns. I just check this particular thing. So you can see there is a line between this particular columns. I just say, okay. Okay. So that is how we go to the column breaks. Okay, clear? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. The next thing is, see, sometimes, there is an option here. Generally, we see sometimes in the magazines or even in the reference material. The first half of the book will be a single column. The second half of the book will have a 2 columns or 3 columns. And the further again might be a single column or thing. Now, take an example. I want the first section of this one to be as, or like I say, below this, I want to have a single column. So what I do is I just go to the columns. I'll go to the more columns. There, I will select one single column. But see, by default, it says the whole document. Whatever the changes you apply, this is going to apply for the whole document. I say no. After this point forward, so further, I want to convert back to a single column. So what I do, I just drop down here. I say this point forward. And I say, okay. So you can see now, my cursor has it was actually my cursor was blinking here. It has been shifted here, and you can see at this stage I'm in a single column. So now when you write some text, so now it is coming in a single column. Okay, now below this I want again as a multi-column. Okay, 2 columns I want to have. So again what I do, I just go to the columns. So don't select it from here, go to the more columns, and then you say 2, and again I say this point forward, after this point, after the current point. So that means my cursor was kept over here. So my cursor is actually blinking here, and I say this point forward after this cursor. So it is going to be again made into 2 columns. So when I say okay, so now we can see. So it is 1 column here. I just go to the break. I say column break. I just say RND. Fine. Got it? So when you're writing those magazines and all those things, or even in the reference materials, even in the document, any kind of a notes you're making. So, okay, first half you're explaining some content. Second half, may you say one side I want to have an image, one side you want to have a text. You can go for the multi-columns, and one column you can have an image, another column you can have a text. So this kind of things can be done. So with the help of this multi-columns. Any questions on this?
How do we add the image here, sir?
You want to add an image. I'll show you how to add an image. Okay, so we have a different options of adding an image. Say I don't want this particular text. Instead of this text, you want to have an image. Okay, so one thing is, if you want to add a picture, I just go to the insert, and I just go to the picture option, and then you can select a picture. Say example, I want to include this picture. I just select this. A picture is there. Okay, so now the picture is going oversized. You can reduce the sizing, and all these things can be done.
Okay.
See, once you had a picture, there is a lot of features in pictures. See, when you do any new features, no, you automatically get this additional tab here. So you have added a picture. So we have something called as the picture tools. So in the picture tools, you can see we have a lot of formatting. So now I say I want to, for this particular picture, I want to remove a background. I can just remove the background. Yes. You can see I'm just remove the background, only this particular image is there.
Yeah.
So we can do in that way. Or
Sir, can you come back to the process? Like, how do you remove the background?
Yeah. So see, once you add a picture, and you can see right now there is no picture tool tab. So there is no by default picture tool tab. Just focus on the picture. As soon as you select a picture, you get this particular thing, additional tab here called as picture tools. Okay. So there, okay, you can click on this format. So there we have a format. So there we have something called as remove background. So we can just hit on this. So it just says from which area you want to remove something. So we can see.
Okay, fine. So I got it.
Okay, fine. Or like you want to give some kind of a correction, like color corrections. I want to make it looking bright, or the contrast, brightness. So they have a
Okay.
different this one. So you can just adjust those particular thing. So even the colorings can be given.
Okay.
Okay, or yeah, all those cosmetic effects are there. You can see, sometimes you want to make that image blur and then you want to take it or something. Yep. So those kind of things are there.
Okay. Okay. Fine. I
Okay,
got it.
and not only that, you can see there is a picture styles here. So this particular tab, so picture styles. So this is really an amazing thing. So you can just say like how you want a picture to be. Yep. The space constraint was there. It is just down. Okay. Okay. See, in this particular thing, so there is a picture with a frame and there is a shadow falling behind with the frame. Okay, light frame with little raised effect. You can see a kind of effect that is trying to give, or you want to have a kind of a. So when you look into this, it gives more of a 3D kind of 3D colors effects, 3D effects, tilt, and you can see the edges over here. So it has been rounded, So when you see in the real
Yeah.
time, it looks like a little raised effect it is trying to give.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those kind of effects you can give it. So you can select the kind of a style that you want to have. Okay. Tilt it. So this will be mainly used when you're making some kind of a collapse or a paper advertisements, what do you say, things, handouts or things. So it will be very useful. So this kind of things.
Okay, this we should go to insert and pictures, right?
First,
Sir?
you need to insert a picture. Okay, after inserting a picture, so you just need to select the picture, and you get this picture tool, and then you can just select what kind of this one you want. So this is the normal this one. So just select it, format, and just get into what it is the kind of effect you want. And not only that, after giving this, you want to get more effects. So we also have this particular thing, no? But I need to ensure that you click on this one. So you want to give kind of a border colors for this. And then you want to give a kind of some glowing effects for this particular pictures. Since it is in the margin remaining, I think so. Since you have given us half of the column, so we are trying to fit within that half. So the layout of the picture. Okay, smart art we'll see later. I have that another one more interesting thing. Kind of a shadow effect, the kind of raised effect you want to give, the kind of edges you want, soft edges. Yeah, so like twisting, tweaking, kind of a 3D effects can be given on this. You don't have to call a 3D person, an animator or DTP person to do all those things. We ourselves can do all those particular things. So you can just play around with this. It's really interesting things. Okay. Okay, so something like we understood about the how do we go with the multi-column text and things. Okay, clear with this? Any
Yes.
questions?
No. Yeah.
No.
Oh. So now, next is we will talk about how do you go with the tabs. Okay, so how do we work with the tabs? See, one thing is we already have seen with the indentation. So what was the indent? We had a left indent, right indent, the first line indent. Okay, we saw that is like, how you want your text has to be started from the aligned to the left hand side or the right hand side, or the how you want your first line of a paragraph has to start with the tab space, 1 inch space or 1.5 inch space or whatever. We saw that. Now we'll see the concept called as the tabs. Okay, I'll just get into thing. See, generally, like you people have written your resumes, CV, at your writer. Um,
So,
We haven't written it yet.
yeah, I've already not written it. See, sometimes like, generally when you're writing a CV, we observe that so one portion will be writing something like say name, address and all this thing. And then, okay, we'll have we divide the page into multiple sections there. Okay. And I think I'll just mute all. Okay. So one section, what we try to do is we try to give the kind of captions, and the other half of the page we'll try to give the actual descriptions. Fine. Something like, I have written name, and I have written the name, address I have written, and you can say all I want to start with the same space. Okay. Now, if you want to get this kind of a space, I have generally seen people, what they do is, so I've seen generally, literally people, what they do is they just write the name, I say colon, and then they just say tap, 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 or they use a space, 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 and they do the adjustment. Now they want to write, say date of birth. Then they want to write this, okay, it's fine. This tab, they want to start from there. So they just again use some kind of a spaces like this, okay, or a tabs or something. So it becomes really very tedious to do this particular kind of alignments. Now again, later I say, no, I want to slightly move little in or little out. So again, every line where we need to do this particular thing becomes a very, very tedious work. Okay. So now, how do we solve this particular things? Okay. We have this particular option called as a tabs. I'll show you how do we go for the tabs. So now, see, one thing is, if you have observed this in the top left corner, there is this kind of a L symbol. What is there? Okay. What I will do is, what I want is, I just want to say name, and then see here, I want to, in this particular first section, I want to write all the headings, name, say date of birth, qualification, address, and all this thing. But actual content, I want to write somewhere over here. Okay, I want to divide, and I want this particular dividing exactly to be moved in the exact position alignments. So in that case, what I will do is, see, we have a different types of tabs. So we have something called as a left tab. So you can see it's a kind of a L symbol. We have a center tab. We have a right tab. We do also have a decimal tab. So what I will do is, I'll just go with what do you call it as a left tab. And I say, if this document is my 100%, something like this, I want this tab to be somewhere in near 2 inch, after at a 2 inch space. Fine. I just hit on this. I'm sorry. When it is L, so ensure that when it is L, by default it is L, just click on that. Say I say somewhere I want at 2.5 inch. I'll just click over here. So you can see a small L has come here. What I did is, by default L is selected. Okay, or if it is not selected, just keep hitting on that. It keeps toggling around. So we have different types of tab. First line indent, left right indent, or say left, right, center, and all these things. So when it is L symbol, that time, okay, you don't have to drag or anything. Just click on this particular ruler. A small tab comes. Now what you do is, okay, after writing the name, okay, I don't have to press spaces or anything. Just hit one single tab. One single tab when you hit, what happens is, you can see your cursor is just below this. Your cursor is just below this. There you say, what is that? I say colon. I just want to say name. Fine. Now I say example address, or say gender. Say date of birth or something. So I just say tab. I'm just hitting one single tab, and you can see it is exactly getting aligned. I just say it is 19. I say something. Cool. I've written some contents. Now I say, no, this is too much space. I want this particular things to be, see, it is too much. I want somewhere near 2 inch and all this thing. See, if I had manually done, again, we need to do this okay. And when you're making a resume, it is minimum going to be 2 pages, and we'll be having at least 15, 20 so lines, and every line, this kind of thing, realignments has to be done. So what you can do is just select this particular contents, this L, what is there, hit on that, you can just move it. So where you want it, how much you want it, where to manage. This is how you go for the tab. Say I want to write an address. Say tab. I say a number 302. And I press enter, it is coming to start. I just hit on another tab, it just comes here. And just say So you can see here, so they get with the exact spacing. I don't have to keep hitting so much of lines or doing any kind of things. Okay, I think. And tomorrow you want any, I say, no, this is too near. I just want little ahead of thing. How much ever you want, you can adjust those particular things. Clear? So very useful when you're preparing your resumes and all these things. Okay. So this is one kind of thing. So now other thing is, see, I want to write some information like I want to give a work experience. Okay. Now generally, you know, what happens is, so if it is a work experience, people who are already working and they have worked for some 3-4 different companies, or they have worked for many projects, and then they'll be looking for a new this one. So they'll be writing their work experience like this. Okay, the first company, from which year to which year. Okay, yeah, the first company what they worked, what was the role in that particular company, from which year to which year they worked. So they want to have a 3 tabs. Okay, so means, say I say, first job I just work for, say, Dell. Okay, I want to say the company name, and then I want to say what was my profile, and I want to say which date to which date I was working. So what I will do in this kind of a scenario is, here, so I will go to the center tab. You can see I just clicked once, it has changed to center. You can see a kind of symbol like this. Okay, it is a center tab. So that means that what you say, what was my profile in Dell. So I'll just want to write somewhere over here, and the alignment I want it in the, to be in the center. From there it has to move centrally. Okay, and which year to which year I worked. So what I will do is I just click once again, and we can see it changes to this kind of symbol. That means it is a right indent. I'll say I want somewhere over here. So now you can see as soon as I hit on this particular, I just say tab. Okay, now you can do is, in this line I don't want this tab left. So that means here I want this tab, but here I want this tabs, center and the right. You can even give the tab for, say, like I don't want this particular Dell and all these things starting exactly over here. I want this to move little ahead, say. So what I can do is I can just even have a tab over here. The left tab somewhere in the half inch. Okay. Now I just press one tab. It comes here. I say I work for Dell, and I say I was working as a project manager. And then I say from the year 2000 to say 2008. Fine, something. Fine. And you can see here, this is aligned in the center. From the center, the data is growing, and this is towards the right hand side, and this is on your left hand side. So let me further write. Say I say next, I say tab. I worked for HP. I say I worked as team lead. I say worked in, say, 2010 09, say, to 2015. I say I work for Pro Learning. As soon as I say tab, I say fine. I say I'm working from 2015 to 2021. You can see here, I have done this particular 3. This content is aligned on the left hand side, and this content, irrespective of whatever the data, is aligned on the right hand side, and this content, you can see it is aligned in the center of this. Okay, you can have this kind of a multiple tabs like this. I say tomorrow I just want this to be shifted or things little more here or there. You can see I can move like this. Or they say right is too much right, I want little inside or little outside. Yeah, this is about your tabs. Okay, any questions on this?
No.
So next thing is we will see about how do we go with spell check and the grammar. How do we go correct this particular grammar mistakes and the spell check. Okay, we'll look into this particular content first. So now what for this, what I will do is, okay, so I'll make this break back to the single column. I just have some contents over here. Now what I will do is let us try to have some kind of a spelling mistakes. See, what is spelling mistakes is, how do we know this particular word is correct or not? Is there any kind of a spelling mistakes or not? So what we'll do is we'll check each word. So how do you know that it is a word? So after every word there is a space. If there is a space, it is understood it's a new word. Okay, and we'll check whether this particular word is available in the dictionary. If it is available in dictionary, oh, it is correct. If this word is not available in the dictionary, that means it is something wrong. Something spelling mistake is there. So in that case, okay, we need to correct this particular mistakes. Let us do one thing is, I'll just make some mistakes. Since I have generated this through the RAND, this from the system. So we trust the machine. Okay, machine never makes mistake. Fine. But just imagine if this particular content was written by the human being. Okay, so as a human being, when they're writing, so how good they are in English or whatever it is, okay, might be because of the various pressures or various things. Okay, he might go with some kind of spelling mistakes. So always whatever the manual work has been done has to be cross-checked whether it is not it having any kind of a mistakes and all this thing. So here we'll see how do we check for the spelling mistakes. Just take some example. I have some kind of a spelling mistakes here. Come on. Okay, I just have done some mistakes over here. I want to correct this particular mistake. So how do we do this particular correction? So that is what we'll look into it. I think I'll remove this particular content. Okay, I want to do this particular corrections. So in that case, what will I do is, so I will go to this particular review tab. So you can see there is something called as a review tab. Okay, so I'll just go to the review tab, and in the review tab you can see there is a spelling and the grammar. Okay, so what I will do is I'll just select this particular spellings and grammars, and there in the spellings and grammar, so what I will do is as soon as I hit on the spelling and grammar, you can see here is we have this particular tab here called as spellings. Okay, and it tells me what is the word which has some, see, one thing is whatever the words which is misspelled, it is showing with a red color underline. So that means these words are not there in the dictionary, or these words with this kind of a spellings are not available in the dictionary. So the computer found, okay, see in the Microsoft Word, what happens is there is something called as an inbuilt dictionary there. So you can see there is some kind of a dictionary here. So this is a dictionary what is inbuilt, and this dictionary is in US English. Okay, so now every word is being checked in the dictionary. If these words are not available in the dictionary, you can see we get this kind of red color underline. So that means when you have red color underline, it is just giving an indication telling that there can be a spelling mistakes. You need to rectify it. So you want to rectify the spelling mistakes. What is that we do? So we just go to the, so we get into the review tab. So that is, we go to the review tab. Under the review tab, we'll go to this spellings and grammars. So I just hit on the spellings and grammars. as soon as I hit on the spellings and grammars, so here you can see it just selects the words on which you want to do this particular correction. And here you can see it says spellings. So this was the word what we have selected, POWERFUL. Okay, so actual word is FAL that is being selected, POWERFAL. But actual correct word, okay, it is giving some kind of a guesses. Might be like, this is a spelling mistake. So the correct word might be something like this. Do you want to change this? Okay, so fine. This is the spelling of powerful, POWERFUL. Yeah, it is the correct one. So, and you can see it also gives you with the meaning here. Okay, so it will not change it just like that. This was the actual word that we have written, and there is no word like this what you have written in the dictionary. Okay, so the correct word, a relatively correct word, is something like this, and it says that word, meaning of that word is something having great power for one force. Okay, this is what exactly you're looking, or you want to even listen to that. So when you hit on this, it even plays in audio. Okay, and we can come, oh yeah, so we saw that. Yeah, so we can come to know, okay, fine, this is something I have done a mistake, and I'm looking for something like this kind of a word. Okay, and if I want to apply this one, we have this particular thing called as a change. Okay, apart from, there is something called a change all. See, change all is like, I might have a habit of writing whenever I have to write powerful. So I have a habit of writing as POWERFAL instead of FUL. So when I say change all, wherever I have written as powerful, you change it to powerful. So that is what it is. So let us hit on the change first. Okay, so you can see it has changed. So document. Okay, so you have written something like this, DOCAMENT. This kind of word with this kind of spellings are not there in the dictionary. So this is the wrong word. The correct word expected is DOCUMENT, document. Okay, I just say change. So if I say change all, wherever you have written document, it'll correct in all those places. Fine. Reading. So you can see REA it is supposed to be, but you have written as REE. This is not a dictionary word. So you can see here, it is telling it is something like this. So it is expecting to be something READING, or it might be RECED, residing, or reading, or thing. See, it is trying to give a kind of a guesses what are the closest word which is available in the dictionary. So these are the various closest words which is available in the dictionary. Fine. Okay, so we are expecting a word something like this. Now, if I say residing and reading, I don't know what it is. So it tells you what it is: a slow, a gradual disappearance. Okay, things. It gives you a meaning with the sound and all this. So just say change. So as we click on change, it changes that. It goes to the next wrong word, and it says what is the exact this one. I say change. Say change all, wherever I have written documents, change it to that. Powerful, change all. Wherever power FAL is there, FUL, it will become as this one. Wherever reading is there, I don't want this to be prompted again, say change all. So all the places wherever REEDING was there, so it has changed to READING. Professionally, say change all. Easier. See, after correcting all this one says spellings and grammar check is complete. That means now whatever the words you have written, those words are there in the dictionary. Okay, so this is how we correct it. See, like, you've written a document, you have huge list of pages, hundreds of pages and things, and then you want to correct all those particular things. It becomes very tedious to scan or read each and every page, every paragraph, every sentences, then to know whether it is correct or not, and all this thing takes really long time, and manually it's unreliable. So here it automatically corrects all those particular words. Okay, that is one thing. Apart from that, there is also something called as a grammatical mistakes. So after full stop, it is supposed to start with the caps. If that is not starting with the caps, then you get a kind of a blue color, this one. Okay, see, fine. Here you can see there is some error called as capitalization of this thing. So it is, suppose it is, you have written something like this, THEMES. So this word is there in the dictionary. According to the dictionary, it's a dictionary word. It is correct. So it's not a spelling mistakes. But you can see here, it just tells you like it has a problem with the capitalization. Capitalize the first word of the sentence. Since it is start of the sentence, you're supposed to have it in caps. Change it. So you can see when, W should be in caps, change it. So that means when you're writing a document, you don't have to look into all those things. You write it once and then take the help of the spellings and grammars. So this will just check both for the spelling mistakes as well as the grammatical error. So that means every start of the sentence has to be in caps. Every start of the paragraph has to be in caps. It will look into all those particular things. Fine. Any questions? Clear?
Yeah, clear, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I think Kushal is there.
Yes, sir.
Are you clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. The next thing here is we have something called as a thesaurus. Okay. Heard about thesaurus?
No.
Okay. So next to this particular spellings and grammars, we have this particular word called as thesaurus. So we'll look into what exactly is thesaurus. See, in English, we have something called as synonyms. Okay. So what is a synonym? Synonym is different words with a similar meaning. Okay. Say example, say we have a teacher. Is it? So when you look into a teacher, when the teacher is in the school, it is called as teacher. The same teacher, when it is in the institute, you call it as a faculty. The same teacher, when it is in the college, we call it as a lecturer or professor. Okay, the same teacher in the field, we call it as a coach. Okay, trainer. We have a different words, but the meaning is the same. The meaning of the coach, trainer, lecturer, professor, teacher, or tuition teacher, all these are the people who are teaching. Fine. So now, when I write this particular word teacher, it's a dictionary word, but I feel this particular teacher is something like a very classic word. I want to use a different word. Maybe I want to use a mentor, or like I want to know what exactly, what can be the other word I can use it, but it should not change the meaning, but I need to use a better word for it. So what I do is just write the word and then go to the thesaurus. Okay, a shortcut key is Shift plus F7. Shortcut key is Shift plus F7. I just hit on this. As soon as I hit on this, you can see it just selected word. It just tells you, okay, the meaning of this is the educator. So what are the synonyms that can be used? Educator, tutor, instructor, coach, trainer, lecturer, educationalist. So we can look into any of this. So I say I want to use some kind of a word like instructor or tutor. I just hit on this. I say insert. It's been inserted. Okay, so to understand, even it shows you with the meaning here. Teacher, a person whose occupation is teaching. So you want, when I hit on the see more, it take you to the Bing and will take you the more information about what is teacher and all these things. Fine. Yeah, so since I hit on more info, this is taking to my browser and it will show you what is the meaning of teacher and all these things. I think everybody knows what is the meaning of teacher.
Got it, sir.
So then you can use that. So that means when you're writing any kind of a letter and things, we generally want to write some, see when we want to use some kind of new jazzy words and all those things. So instead of, in that case, since if I'm using a jazzy word, but still the meaning should not change. So for that, we should be very careful. So just select that, hit on the thesaurus. It will show you the meaning, gives you a complete dictionary meaning and all these things. Even you don't have to go to the Google and then you don't have to manually search. This will directly take you to that particular, so what is searching the relevant information. Okay, and then you can get the more detailed info and then you can even place it. So I don't think so there is need of going to this particular search. Also you get a lot of information from this itself. Okay, so anything like I think so you want to use it. Okay, any questions for this?
No, sir. All good.
All good. Yes, Kushal.
No,
Fine,
sir.
sir.
Okay. In today's session is we have done with this thing. So we have seen with the multi-column text. So generally, what is the multi-column text is whatever the text is there, you want to divide into multiple columns. Okay. We use a multi-column text. So we saw this multi-column text can be divided only to a particular section of a document. Okay. Further, you want to have a continuation with a single column. We can have those particular options also. Tab indenting, mainly like, you know, when you're writing a resumes or something, you want the text to be aligned on a different player. See, like, you know, instead of you hitting a space bar or a tab space to move to a particular position and then write it, so we can put a tab. Okay, and when you hit that particular tab, as soon as you hit on a tab, it just moves to the next tab what is available. See, generally what happens is when you hit a tab on your document, okay, it moves a half a inch space. It moves a half an inch space. So, but I say, no, I want to move exactly on the right or exactly at this particular point on a single tab. I just hit on a single tab, it moves to there and write something like, say, a tab, write something, write tab and say something. So it has been aligned. And other advantage of this is you can just move around so the way you wanted and things. So this is, I think we saw with the different types of tabs. So we can have a left, right, center tabs. You can have multiple tabs on a single page, a section of a page. Okay. Then we discussed about what you say, spell check and the grammar. So whenever you have written any particular text, so it might have spelling mistakes or the grammatical mistakes. You can correct that particular spelling mistakes and the grammatical mistakes by going to this particular option called as spell check and the grammar. Okay, so this will automatically check for every word in the dictionary. If the word is not available, it just throws you an error. One thing in the spell check and the grammar is, just imagine you have a word, say Bangalore. It shows you an error. How do you read? Or I just write my name. Not showing. Okay, fine. So take an example here. We have something called as a Ken Pro Learning. Fine. Now, when you look into this one, so there is no spelling mistakes in this, no? So this is our company name. So we don't have a spelling mistakes. But here it says give an indication telling that it is a spelling mistake. Means this word is noun, is the name of the organization or something. And this word is not available in the dictionary. So we have defined the name. Or you write any of your name or something. So you can see it will not, it will show this kind of a red color underline. Now, see what happens, this word I'll be using very frequently. And whenever I write, I don't want this Ken Pro to be shown with an underline, telling that it's a wrong word. So according to me, it's a correct word. Since it's a noun, okay, so I don't want this kind of a message. So red color underline to be prompted. I just say Ken Pro. So you can see it shows me with this kind of thing. So I don't want this. So in that case, what I can do is I can add this word to the dictionary. So for adding this, what we do is just hit on this, right click on that, and we have something called as add to the dictionary. So what you do, just right click on the text, add to the dictionary. This word will be added to the dictionary. Since it is added, see, you can see all wherever Ken Pro was written, the underline is been removed. In future also, when you write this Ken Pro, so it will not show an underline. So that means this word has been added to the dictionary. Okay, so when you write any of the new words, even your names or things, it'll show with the underline. So now you know this particular name is not dictionary words. You want to add to the dictionary, you can add this to the dictionary. Say Kamanahalli. Okay, Kamanahalli, we people know it, but okay, the dictionary, it is not a dictionary word. So now, but okay, whenever I'm writing the address, my office address and thing, I'll be using this word very frequently. So I don't want this to be shown with the underline. So just right click on that, add to the dictionary. So it is added. Next time so if you make some mistake in this one, If I say something like this, so again, this is not a correct word, something like this. So in that case, you'll have an error. Okay. So that is how we can add even the words to the dictionary also. Yeah, that was about the spellings and the what to say, grammatical mistakes. So spelling mistake is checking whether that word is there in the dictionary. If it is there, if it is not there, it gives me a suggestion what is the closest correct word it is with the definition and meaning, and you can rectify that. We have a change, it'll change only that word, a change all, wherever if you have repeated a similar kind of mistakes, all those will be removed. Other one was a kind of a grammatical mistake. So that means the English knows, the computer knows that whenever you have a start of the paragraph or whenever you start some text after a dot, it is starting a new sentence, it has to always start with the caps. So if you have violating those particular things, it gives you that error, and to check that particular error, we call it as a grammatical mistakes. Fine. And then we do also have a thesaurus. Thesaurus is something like, you want to have a new word with a similar meaning without changing the meaning. You want to know what are the other words for a particular word without changing the meaning or with a similar meaning. So like a synonyms, it is, we use a thesaurus. So this is useful when you are writing any kind of a document and you feel like, this is a very old word, this is, I want to have a different word, I want to use it. So we can do it with the help of the thesaurus. Yes, correct. Okay. So hope all of understood with this particular thing. Yeah.
Done, sir.
Yeah, Kushal, Tirumala, and things. Fine.